We are in a new year. We look back at a year that has been harrowing, to say the least. Into that equation came an unprecedented amount of brain drain, young people clamoring to leave the country. We have lost close to 3 million Sri Lankans in the last 40 years, the largest brain drain for any developing country in the world. An active peace builder who, among other accolades, has been felicitated by the Queen of England is a TEDx speaker at the University of Notre Dame, where he earned his MA in Peace Studies and Public Policy. The founder of Sri Lanka Unites, Prashan De Visser, produced a quick clip with a very persuasive 10 reasons why you shouldn't leave the country. And he's on Selinko Live. Let's talk. Welcome, Prashan, to Selinko Live. Let's talk. From what we have been seeing in this country, maybe even from independence, have we been chasing our people away?
I think to a certain extent, especially young people, governments that have passed and governments that are currently in positions of power have not done enough to vision for the future for the next generation. And as a result, there is a frustration among some young people. We could have done better, but my plea is that we have to do it despite those who have failed us, that the generation has to take the responsibility on their shoulders.
Most often when it comes to migration, it's not about being a second-class citizen, it's not about the slogging and the slaving. It is about making money, isn't it?
One thing that I personally encourage is going for education, going for some employment, getting experience, building your networks, and then coming back to invest in this economy and bring in all what you have to try and revive this nation. Because if everybody starts packing up and leaving and contributing to some other GDP and not here, we have very little hope to build from where we're at. I think to a certain extent, especially young people, governments that have passed and governments that are currently in positions of power have not done enough to vision for the future for the next generation. And as a result, there is a frustration among some young people. We could have done better, but my plea is that we have to do it despite those who have failed us, that the generation has to take the responsibility on their shoulders.
So another thing you're urging is for people to become entrepreneurs, adding their energy, so to speak, into this country. But practically, do we actually empower and enable our young entrepreneurs? To me, it's unless you are connected, you just don't get there.
Yeah, so in any country, some research suggests that maybe like 10% or 50% have the entrepreneurial DNA, like they are capable of innovation and proactive thinking. But at the same time, given the circumstances, because of necessity, others with a hard work ethic are also able to make it. And so one thing what I'm encouraging young people is, how can we start thinking innovative to revive the economy? Because we're still a developing economy. There are so many things that you can almost mimic from developed economies. And we have so many industries right now that have come as a result of mimicking what's there, but then contextualizing it to Sri Lanka's context. So it's possible. Now, once again, do the structures and the government and all of them, do they help us? No. In fact, more often than not, it's difficult. But if you have the purpose of saying, can this be the generation that turns it around, we're going to have to take some of that burden and hopefully transition them out and see a new generation doing things the right way.
With the governance system, the way it is, corrupt, incompetent, authoritarian, how can young people actually even get a foot in the door?
I think you're absolutely right. We have seen incompetence for 74 years, corruption, and they have used divide and rule. They've pitted people against each other just to hide their incompetencies. But now, if there are people who are capable, you should no longer watch from the outside and say, hopefully these guys will get better. They're not going to get better. In fact, they're going to get worse. They're getting more incompetent as the years go by. They're getting more corrupt. So it's important that you good people come in and transform the system, and not just come in one person saying, I have an ambition for politics. That's not going to change it. You need a generation of capable people who want to be accountable to the people, who have a grander vision for our future, working together to transform. That we haven't seen. No generation before us has tried. Can this be that generation? That's my optimism and my hope.
Simple as it may sound, that's quite a tall order, Prashan. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you like our show, just subscribe or follow us. Kaleidoscope with Savitri Rodrigo is on multiple digital channels.
We are here to better your lives and champion your every goal. With 12 billion rupees worth of customer benefits in 2020 and a life insurance fund worth over 100 billion rupees, our strength is your strength. You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Selinko Life.